And joining me now to discuss is Nate Hochman, Intercollegiate Studies Institute Fellow at National Review. Nate, welcome back. Great to see you again. As we just heard there from Eric, inflation continues to soar with gas prices up a whopping 60% and food costs up 16%. Your thoughts on that and the impact it's having on Americans, especially the middle class and those folks living paycheck to paycheck?
Well, I think those are the Americans who are the most hurt by inflation. And you heard a lot from a lot of different Republicans talking about the weird contradictory line that the Biden administration and the Democratic Party have been giving about this. And I think in this case, they're right. The Democrats are in real trouble. There's a broad sense, if you look at polling, that Americans across the board feel like the country is moving in the wrong direction. And I think inflation just caps that off because it is this feeling that is felt everywhere and by everyone that things are getting worse, not better, and that's going to really hurt them in the midterms.
Yeah, Nate, and as we approach the midterms, we've been hearing a lot about a red wave coming. Talk to us more about that and the challenges that Democrats are facing, both against Republicans and with their own party.
Right. So it's almost certain that the Republicans are going to take back the House. But the question is exactly how big the red wave is going to be and if it's going to carry them into the Senate. But if you look at Joe Biden in particular, his declining approval ratings across the board, but particularly with traditionally Democratic constituencies like Hispanics, things look really, really dark for the Democrats. And if you see something like the Hispanic wave that is reflected in the polling right now, it's going to be a blowout, the likes of which we haven't seen since at least 2010.
Something else I want to talk about this afternoon, as we heard earlier from Owen, a judge in Florida overturned the federal mask mandate for travel on airplanes and other public transportation. Meantime, the city of Philadelphia is actually facing a lawsuit for reinstating its mask mandate today. That's due to a spike in COVID cases there. I want to get your take on that and what all this signals.
Well, it's clearly ridiculous, and I think the Democrats, unfortunately, are increasingly captured by a small but outsized, powerful ideological group of folks in the public health bureaucracy and in the progressive media who are clinging to this sense that COVID is still an issue, whereas the rest of the country, including most Democrats by a lot of polling now, have moved on. So the Democratic Party, or at least the fringe that really wants to do things like reinstate mask mandates, is not even reflecting their own voters in a lot of places now. They're reflecting a large amount or a small amount of very influential progressive elites who still care about this stuff. And that also is probably going to hurt them in 2022.
All right. And another thing I want to talk about is like the last time when you were on, we talked about Elon Musk potentially joining Twitter's board. And as you know, the billionaire has since made an offer to buy the social media platform, but not everyone is on board with it. Your thoughts on that and the future of Twitter?
Well, look, like I said last time, I'm all for it. I think there are huge problems with the way that Twitter is run. And I think Elon Musk, again, he is an erratic, crazy person like most geniuses are. But I think that I'd be happy to see someone come in and shake it up. The question is, A, obviously, can he get past the enormous amount of resistance that he's getting to actually buy Twitter? And then B, once he actually does buy Twitter, if he can, is he going to be able to actually take on a lot of his own employees who are often sort of ideologically motivated activists and are going to impose a lot of the stuff that he wants to do? So those are two big questions still, but I'm excited to see him give it a shot.
Nate, we have 30 seconds or so left. Quickly, what else are you following?
So I'm continuing to follow a lot of the polling surrounding, as we discussed earlier, the Hispanic realignment into the Republican coalition. I think the numbers for Biden and the Democrats continue to become more and more devastating, and it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out when it actually comes time for voters to show up at the polls in November.
All right, we will leave it right there. Nate, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thanks.